Welcome into Sunday Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. Almost forgot the name of the show, but no, I'm good. I've got my coffee. I'm here. Colton's here. Adam's here. We're here to answer your starts and sits. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great, man.
Okay.
Always happy to be here. Always happy to get my day started with some start sit questions. So
Okay. Well, we're excited to have you here. That is for sure. I wore the shirt. I actually wore this shirt yesterday, but you know what? I'm on a 24 hours of celebration. The Gators beat the Longhorns. Bourbon Cowboy, if you're watching, you're going to be the Bourbon Gator this week. So I had a little side bet with one of our normal viewers. So Adam, you doing good, buddy?
I'm doing a lot better than last week after I came on here and ranted about college football. I don't have a rant for today. This Browns-Vikings game has not been the most enjoyable, but hey, it's early morning football, so I can't complain.
And just a note for our viewers, if Quinshon Judkins scores a touchdown, Adam might lose his mind, and we're going to let that happen.
Let me know in the chat.
Yeah. If it happens, let us know. Well, let's get right into the injuries, Adam. Let's start going over them. I'll move over to the slides. And okay, so out today that we know for sure, Lamar Jackson. Is this looking like a situation he's going to be out until after the bye? I think it's week 8 bye they have.
I mean, I think that would make the most sense given the bye week that's coming up here. You know, Lamar Jackson, I was maybe a little bit too optimistic. I thought there was a potential that he could play this week. Obviously, anytime a quarterback has a lower body injury, or especially one that's as rushing heavy as Lamar Jackson, we worry about that a little bit. But, you know, given his injury history and just kind of the injuries that he's played through in his career, he's somebody that sometimes comes back a little bit sooner than expected. So I'm not totally out on him playing next week. Definitely want to have some backup options if he's your primary quarterback, just given the uncertainty. But I think there's a small chance he could play.
Colton, were you rushing to the waiver wire this week to get Cooper Rush?
Yeah, man, I was just dreaming of firing up Cooper Rush in my lineup. No, I was talking about this a little yesterday. I'm so curious to see what this Ravens offense looks like with Cooper Rush, because it feels like they're gonna have to. Nobody is Lamar Jackson, but I just don't know how this offense translates to Cooper Rush and what they're going to have to change there. So I'm a little nervous about, everybody not named Derrick Henry, if he can stop fumbling, for the Ravens today. It's just, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I guess it's going to be heavy Derrick Henry today. Chuba Hubbard is out today. Rico Dowdle will be starting for the Panthers, so get excited for all you Rico Dowdle managers. The time has finally arrived. Not exciting for the Buccaneers. Bucky Irving and Mike Evans both out. We expected Mike Evans to be out, but Bucky Irving kind of popping up with a little foot issue this week? Adam, what's going on with Bucky? Tell me everything's going to be okay.
For fantasy purposes, I think it's a big foot injury. You know, anytime we see that foot designation for a running back, I get a little bit nervous. We haven't really got specifics. Kind of heard foot sprain. I don't want anyone to panic. We haven't heard anything about Liz Frank just yet, but midfoot sprain is kind of the word that's being thrown around right now. That's the unofficial word, I guess should say regarding Bucky Irving. Typically a multi-week injury. I think best case scenario, he misses 2 weeks, but this is something that could certainly linger into Tampa Bay's bye week. I think, don't quote me on it, week 9 is Tampa's bye. So I think there's potential here that this could be a multi-week injury for Bucky Irving.
And Colton, I know most of us, if we have Rachaad White, we feel pretty good about firing him up. Is there any love out there for Sean Tucker, or is it just sit him on your bench and see what happens?
I think you should definitely roster him, especially if you're a little more shallow at running back. This is an offense predicated on 2 roles, right? Bucky and Rachaad White are both involved. So typically when this situation unfolds, you don't really see one of the roles go away. Somebody else slides into the role and both guys occupy the offense. So I think Sean Tucker still has a role to play in this offense. You might want to be a little more patient, just kind of wait and see how it all looks this week, but definitely worth a speculative pickup because he's a talented player too. So
yeah, I'm definitely not celebrating the Bucky injury. I was very sad to see it. I was telling people though, if you miss on Bucky, taking Rachaad White and then Sean Tucker in the very last round might not be a bad strategy. So I'm interested to see how that plays out today. I think Sean Tucker's a fantastic running back. I think he's just behind two other running backs that are a little bit better than him. But he's got a chance to prove it. CeeDee Lamb also out today. He's not going to be back for a couple weeks still, Adam.
Yeah, he was back practicing this week. Granted, it was, in a limited fashion. 2 weeks is like the best case scenario for a moderate to serious high ankle sprain. So I think there's a world where CeeDee Lamb's back a little bit sooner than we expected.
All right. Terry McLaurin also out today. And Trey Benson's on the IR. So we're looking at least 4 weeks for Mr. Benson.
And the Cardinals have a bye in week 9, I think, as well. So week 10 is like the soonest that Trey Benson could come back.
Perfect. And Michael Carter or DeMarcado, do you guys have a preference?
Or Bam Knight too, man. Jonathan Gannon is. I'm in Arizona, so I've heard all the local radio talk all week about these 3 guys, and it's like roll the dice. If you're in a pinch, man, I'm firing up Michael Carter in a few places, but it sounds like Bam Knight could even have a role. It's going to be a headache of a backfield. I'll be at that game, so we'll see how it looks. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. We'll take
a
picture and put it on the internet so we all know that you're not a liar.
I tend to do that sometimes. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm thinking about going to the Bucks 49ers game next week if the tickets drop, because it's a 4:00 start, which we rarely get in Tampa. So
nice, man.
We'll see what happens. All right. Questionable today, Juwan Johnson and Calvin Ridley. I do believe Calvin Ridley is going to play, though. Is that correct, Adam?
Yep. On track to play this week.
Colton, I want to ask you, with Juwan Johnson questionable, we do know that Taysom Hill is most likely returning today. Does that just scare you off of starting with Juwan Johnson? Because he's been a pretty safe tight end option this season.
Yeah, Taysom Hill strikes me as more of the, and again, his usage, everything we know about Taysom Hill's usage was under Sean Payton, right? So how is Kellen Moore going to use this Swiss Army knife that is Taysom Hill, right? Mm-hmm. If we know anything, it's going to be as more of like a gadget quarterback type of guy. I feel like Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave's target share has shown us that they're relatively safe options in this passing attack, right? I don't necessarily know if Taysom Hill is going to eat into that necessarily. I feel like the rushing attempts, we all kind of expect that might, or as we've come to see from Taysom Hill, that might hurt maybe Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller a little more than it hurts the pass catchers. So we'll see how that unfolds. Again, that was all under Sean Payton. So different offense now.
All right. And expected to play today. Jaden Daniels is back. Get excited, kids. Taysom Hill, Tajay Spears back off the IR today. That's exciting. Michael Pittman Jr. will be playing. And Xavier Legette. I've mentioned his name every week. He gets a lot of targets, people. He just needs to catch them. And today could be a chance where he gets to catch those targets. We'll see it happen. And then not expected to play today. This is honestly the big one for me, is Brock Bowers. Last I heard, he is not going to play. Is that correct, Adam?
Yep, that's where we're tracking. And I talked about this a little bit. If people out there are subscribing to Footballguys game day injury expectations, I went in depth into the Brock Bowers knee injury. There was a lot of speculation that was a PCL sprain. We got confirmation this morning from Adam Scheffner that was the injury. I heard some people talk about a PCL sprain in terms of playing through it. It can't necessarily get worse. It can continue to flare up and progress. So it sounds like the Raiders have been trying to manage Brock Bowers' workload. Brock Bowers has been trying to play through this injury, but I think it was going to be a lot of peaks and valleys regarding fantasy production if he continued to play through this injury. It sounds like they're kind of leaning towards shutting him down for a little bit, let him get healthy, and then come back and be the Brock Bowers that we know and love.
All right. Oh, teased it. I teased that. That's what they call a tease in the industry. Guys, if you're watching us here on the Footballguys live channel, make sure to like and subscribe. This is where we will be every week. If you're watching us on Twitter, you can still get your questions in, but hop over to the YouTube. It helps us out. We love those views as well. Guys, let's hop right into these questions. We've got, the London days we don't get as many questions, but we definitely want to hit them all today. Jim in here with his beautiful family on the beach. Hopefully one day they do get off that island. You've been there for like 2 years, Jim. Come on. We got to get him a satellite phone or something. All right. Good morning. Half point PPR. Kendre Miller or DeMarcado? Colton, which way are we going here?
Yeah, I referenced the Cardinals backfield a little bit earlier. I think it's going to be there is a degree of like dice roll here because we have no idea what these roles are going to look like. But what I do feel kind of good about is Amari DiMercato serving as maybe that passing down back. And I think that gives him a slight edge for me in half point PPR. Plus the return of Taysom Hill cloudies that Saints backfield for me. So I'm going to lean Amari DiMercato because of the half point PPR bonus.
Before I get to the next question, I meant to ask this beforehand. The two players I'm expecting the most questions about today, Rashad White and Rico Dowdle. Put those in order, guys. Who would you rather play between those two guys?
I like the talent of Rashad White better. I like the offense better, but I think I'm going to lean Rico Dowdle by a hair just because Tampa Bay really likes Sean Tucker. And I don't know how involved Sean Tucker is going to be. I don't know if it's going to cap the ceiling a little bit of Rashad White. So if I had to pick this week, I would lean Rico Dowdle, but it could change based on what we see from the, Tampa Bay offense.
Colton, are you there too?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Plus the matchup with Miami, I like a little more for Rico Dowdle. The Sean Tucker element is Adam hit the nail on the head with that. It's definitely an element here that we're going to have to sort of monitor. So yeah, give me Rico Dowdle this week against Miami.
Perfect. I just wanted to ask that off the top because those are the two players we're going to hear about the most today. So, and there it is. Need two: Scattaboo, Ken Walker, or Rashad White. Colton, pick two.
All right, so go Devils. We're going Cam Scattaboo against New Orleans. No bias there either. He's got a nice matchup. New Orleans gives up the ninth most PPR.
I mean,
if half PPR to running backs.
If you're picking Devils, though, then you got to go Rashad White, too. That's a pair of Sun Devils.
I was going to say, man, Colton. Running theme there, right? Tampa Bay's run defense is pretty tough, too. They're giving up the 20th most points to running backs. Plus, that split with Zach Charbonnet is pretty frustrating. So I'm going Rashad White and Cam Scattaboo. Go Devils. There we go.
Yeah, today's a JSN Cooper Cup day. It's going to be. The Bucks can stop the run, but they still cannot stop the pass. Just stay away from Winfield, and you can beat the Bucks through the air. So it should be pretty easy for them. Jay Blaker, good morning and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Tyler Warren or Sam Laporta? Ooh, I love this question, Adam. Where are we?
It's the Tyler Warren show. That is a set it and forget it tight end. There's few in fantasy football that we have right now outside of like Trey McBride. I mean, Jake Ferguson's been pretty darn good, but I put Tyler Warren up there as well. So that you can't take Tyler Warren out of your lineup.
All right. This next question for you, Colton, because I'm not going to give Adam the satisfaction. Pick two, full PPR, J-Mo, Debo Samuel, Emeka Egbuka. Pick two of those guys.
Yeah, J-Mo's been very boomer bust so far. And the full PPR sort of skews in the favor of Debo and Emeka Egbuka for me. Man, that Emeka Egbuka touchdown last week. I think Adam tweeted it where he said that Emeka Egbuka is inevitable. And I'm like, man, that ball fit perfectly between those two defense. It was crazy. So yeah, give me Emeka Egbuka and Debo Samuel.
He's so good. He is
really good. He is really good.
Mike Engels, good morning. Full PPR. Already had CMC get me off to a good start. Isn't that always good on a Thursday? Or like when we get these Fridays and Saturday games coming up, just get a good little start to the Sunday. That's always nice. He's got Javonte, Kenneth Walker, and Woody Marks left to fill two spots. Who do you guys like? Javonte is a definite start for me today. And between Kenneth Walker and Woody Marks, Adam, pick one.
I understand the Woody Marks hype. We certainly have him ranked on our website pretty high. I'm a Ken Walker guy. I'm a Ken Walker apologist. I know it's not a great matchup, but he's always a threat to break one off. Seattle has been using Charbonnet in the red zone. I understand the frustration that could easily break the other way for Ken Walker. I think Ken Walker, even in a tough matchup, has a little bit safer floor.
Perfect. And then Colton, give me a quarterback between Bo Nix and Drake May.
Give me, let's see, I'm going to defer to our rankings here too, just to back me up a little on this. Drake May, we have at quarterback 11. Bo Nix, we're at quarterback 15, and I'm in lockstep with that. Give me Drake May against Buffalo, where he's going to have to throw a ton.
All right, we got Gabe in here with us. Good morning, Gabe. He's got the Triforce going today. Good morning, you beautiful people. PPR need to flex Chase Brown or Khalil Shakir. He's been leaning Shakir all week, thinking the Bengals offense might not be on the field very much. And I think you're leaning the right way. I'm kind of staying away from Chase Brown. He was a player I really liked to come into the season, but man, that Bengals offense needs some help. So yeah, I think you're the right. And we do have a London game this morning, but also in Europe is France. And so little French boy is here with us. And we love you, little French boy. Bonjour, papas. It's been a while. Should I flex DeMarcado or Rashid Shaheed? Full PPR and have a lovely football Sunday. Colton, I'm sending this question to you, but beforehand, have you met the little French boy yet?
I have never, but he seems very polite. The greeting there was very kind. So hello, little French boy. It's so nice to meet you. And I think that you should, little French boy, I think that you should fire up DeMarcado in that spot. Like I said, I think the role ambiguity might come down to like Bam Knight versus Michael Carter. I feel like Amari DeMarcado's pass down role is a little more solidified. So we are rolling the dice a little on Cardinals running backs, but the one guy I feel okay about is Amari DeMarcado. So lean that way, especially because of this matchup. It's brutal, or brutal in a good way. There we go.
All right, Adam, we're coming to you with a Colts question. James has Richardson on a 2-season contract. With Daniel Jones playing so well, have we heard anything from the Brown side about whether AR is doing anything productive to be ready in case Jones falters? I think he means the Colts, but I don't know. Am I missing something there with Browns?
I don't think so. Have you heard anything?
I didn't think so. I think he meant Colts. So what's going on?
I mean, it'd be, a lot of this depends on your league setup. It'd be tough to like cut ship with Anthony Richardson in a dynasty league or a keeper league. I'm assuming that's what it is. We heard some rumors this week that he's trying to kind of wedge himself into that LA room with Sean McVay, potentially Anthony Richardson. That is, talking about how he would like to sit behind Stafford or learn from McVay. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks kind of have a resurgence here lately, especially when they get off to slow starts. Bryce Young was benched, came back strong. I'm blanking on some of the other names. Sam Darnold had a second life. Certainly Baker Mayfield has had multiple chances and kind of parlayed that into a great opportunity. So, I mean, the quarterback position in the NFL is tough. This is somebody that has had high draft capital. I try to be patient, as frustrating as it is.
Yeah, I think Sean McVay is the best coach in the NFL, and I don't know if that's a hot take or a cold take. I think it's just like a take. His mind is unlike anything else. I think if AR went to work with Sean McVay, I would be very optimistic of what they could put together. I think he could use his talents really well. I mean, look what he's done with Puka Nacua. Like, I mean, come on. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I was from the Colts side. Andrea saying good morning. Good morning to you. If Juwan Jennings can't go, should I start Tommy Tremble versus Miami or Theo Johnson versus New Orleans? Colton, pick a tight end.
Yeah, I think Tommy Tremble certainly has the matchup against Miami. Third most half PPR points allowed to tight ends this year, 13.6. Theo Johnson had an interesting role with Jackson Dart, though, and he caught that touchdown in the red zone. Also, Malik Neighbors not in the mix. How is that going to look? It looked like Theo Johnson was kind of the second target there. He had some quick targets as well. Try to get the ball out of Jackson Dart's hands quick. That does look like a run-first offense right now. But give me Tommy Tremble with this Miami matchup. I think it's real juicy.
Yeah, I'm excited for Tommy Tremble. Even though I don't like the Panthers, somebody I've always kind of rooted for some reason. So, yeah. And then, Andrea, you're going to start Dowdle and Justin Fields. And this is like Baker Mayfield's number one fan telling you start Justin Fields today over Baker. Trone Force. We had Triforce. Now we have Trone Force. Lost Tyreek and needed wide receivers. Just traded Wandale and JCM for Olave and Devonta Smith. PPR running backs are CMC, Barkley, Warren, Gainwell, White, and Spears, who's no longer on the IR. But yes, when you put this in there, he probably was. Dude, I like this trade for you. I think you went to the Discord with this, and I told you if you can get this trade executed, do it now. Because getting Devonta Smith and Olave for those two, who you might have pulled off the waiver wire, like that's just turning it into gold. So good job, Turn Force. Good morning, all. I have Kyler and Daniel Jones. Is this just a coin toss? Adam, Kyler, Daniel Jones, pick one.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly close in our rankings. We have Daniel Jones just one spot ahead of Kyler Murray, so this is kind of the definition of a coin toss. If you made me pick, I think I would go Daniel Jones. Certainly has a higher floor, and he was a AD Mitchell drop touchdown pass crossing the end zone from having it just kind of another monster week last week. That was pretty fluky. Colts offense is humming. Jonathan Taylor with the run game opening up play action for Daniel Jones. So give me some Daniel Jones.
All right. Adam missing the hat memo again. Well,
you guys got to tell me.
I know. Well, we send you the memo. You just miss it. Jaden Daniels or Justin Fields? That's a little tighter of a question. River 74. Colton, where are you going?
Oh, this is a brutal one. I think Justin Fields' matchup this week, it feels so weird firing up Justin Fields over Jaden Daniels, especially because of where Jaden Daniels was going in drafts. But I cannot ignore the rushing upside with Fields and the pass defense that he's about to face. We have him as our QB2 for the week on the Football Guys rankings, and I am in lockstep with that. Yeah, fire up Justin Fields this week.
Perfect. And Bob Hope, I'm sorry I butchered your joke last week. I've improved it for this week. The joke is the Oscars were last Sunday, or as we call it in my house, Passover. That's the Bob Hope joke. It bugged the crap out of me that I butchered it so bad. I went and watched the clip when I got off the show. So, but you have a question for us. Sutton, Egbuka, or Myers in PPR? Pick one. Thanks. Adam.
I mean, if you have to ask. Yeah. If you have to ask, no. We have to. You cannot take this man out of your lineup. He is a touchdown scoring machine. He is an animal. Colton said it. Emeka Egbuka is inevitable. We are playing Emeka Egbuka.
I would play Jacoby Myers. I'm just saying I would, because with Brock Bowers being out, I think Genty's, definitely carved a role last week. He's here. He has arrived, but I think Jacoby Myers is going to get some work. But yes,
this is a prime example of Joey coping. You guys all saw it live on air. Joey, right, is coping because he does not have Emeka Egbuka in our staff league. Adam has Emeka Egbuka in our staff league. He's trying to talk himself into why Emeka Egbuka would be a bad start. It's Emeka Egbuka, people. Do not listen to Joey.
Who is in first place in that league and 75 points cleared of everybody else?
All right.
Just saying.
All right. Well,
it's only 4 weeks, folks. I'll poop the bed before then. Good morning, Irish. Welcome in. PPR, Woody or Chase Brown? I almost said Woody or Buzz. I've got kids. Colton, Woody or Buzz?
Woody or Buzz, huh? Yeah. Give me Woody there. You're right. I mean, I think Joey mentioned it earlier. The Bengals offense, man, that offensive line is sort of at the core of everything, but you can't trust them right now. So give me Woody, especially against Baltimore, who is banged up. So,
yeah. And I would go Keenan out over BTJ. Adam, are you more of a Woody or Buzz guy?
Gotta go Team Buzz. Yeah.
Really?
Tim Allen.
Oh, God,
yeah. Gotta go Buzz. Sorry, Tom Hanks.
Sorry. Let's just go to this next question to move on. Hello, I'm Alex. Hi, Alex. Can't believe it's week 5 already. You're telling me. Hope y'all are doing well. We're doing great. I had a little burp there. I was trying to push down, but it came up. That's okay. We're going to be fine. In a tough spot with buys, JCM or Michael Carter this week. Colton, give me JCM or give me Michael Carter. Which one are you going to give me?
I've somehow ended up with all the Cardinals ones this week. Let's see. Again, running theme. Roll of the dice on the Cardinals' backs, how these rolls break down. But I think, oh, man, the matchup for the Cardinals with Tennessee is like real nice. I think Tennessee's giving up the 4th most. 27.4 half PPR points per game to opposing running backs. So give me Michael Carter there. He was the Pat Tillman Scout Player of the month, or whenever they award that, they gave it to Michael Carter. And I learned that from his quote as well, where he said, I went from Pat Tillman Scout Player of the Week to starter. So there you go. Roll with that guy.
At least he wasn't bragging about it. Adam, how much are we trusting Mark Andrews with Cooper Rush in there today?
You're either going to get one or two things. You're going to get a lot of Mark Andrews targets, or you're not going to get a lot of Mark Andrews targets. I know that doesn't help anybody, but sometimes with those quarterbacks, new quarterbacks, I know Cooper Rush is a vet, but they like to use that tight end kind of as a safety blanket, safety net for them there. I don't know. It would depend on some of the options. If I'm pulling up our staff rankings this week just to kind of see who's in the Mark Andrews range, I should say. Harold Farron Jr. already playing this week, but like Mason Taylor was out there, I wouldn't mind a Mason Taylor pivot. Darren Waller with Tyreek Hill out, I wouldn't mind a Darren Waller pivot. Theo Johnson's kind of an interesting name. So those are some guys that might be on your waiver wire that might have a little higher ceiling with Mark Andrews. We don't know how the Baltimore offense is going to move the ball with Cooper Rush. So if you're just looking for some pivots, I think those are some guys you could consider.
Yeah. I did the Mason Taylor pivot off of Brock Bowers. So that's a player right there that I did. And so actionable advice that I followed before Adam gave it. So, because I wouldn't want to give him the benefit of knowing that. Diggs, Ridley, or Henderson, Colton?
Yeah, Diggs may have found something last week, and I think
Yeah.
he got back for week 1, and that was all impressive, right? But it could be as simple as like he just needed a little ramp up period, and now he's maybe turning a corner here. So I'm leaning Diggs out of that matchup or out of that group there. It always, I will say this, it's always brutal not starting Travion Henderson because the talent is there, but this running back split is brutal with Antonio Gibson and Travion Henderson. So I'm leaning Diggs out of that group. I think they may have found a little something with him.
Perfect.
I mean, just to comment on Diggs too. Sometimes these teams slow play guys coming off of injury. His snap share has steadily increased. I don't think he's looked bad when he's been out there. It's just been about the opportunities. So every week his snap share has gone up a little bit in that New England offense. So he's somebody I would feel better about.
All right. Speaking of feeling better about people, let's talk some starts of the week. Colton, tell me about Woody Marks.
There he is. There's Woody. Man, odds are you either if he was on your free agent pool or in your free agent pool, I guess, odds are you cleared your fab to land Woody Marks. He was a priority pickup this week. And this isn't a wait and see matchup. Baltimore, I referenced it earlier, but they are banged up. No Roquan Smith, no Marlon Humphrey, no Nnamdi Madubuike, right? They are just top to bottom. It's not working out. And even with Roquan Smith, they were pretty brutal on runs outside the tackles. 13th worst in stuff percentage, 13th worst in opponent EPA per rush. I could go on and on. Not very good. And 11 of 17 Woody Marks' attempts in the breakout week 4 effort were on carries outside the tackles. So he's going to be doing a lot of that against this banged up Ravens offense. He rushed for 2.2 rushing yards over expected per carry on those carries and plus 0.19 expected points added per rush. So a lot of numbers there, but in short, if that was lost on you, great matchup. Baltimore is giving up the most fantasy points per game to running backs. We'll see what the split looks like between Marks and Chubb, but I would expect that this is becoming a situation where Marks is going to take over this backfield based on some of the usage we saw last week. So roll with Woody Marks this week. Keep the train rolling. Don't overthink this one. He's going to be a guy this week.
Perfect. Colton, beautiful appearance. You're knocking it out of the park. Man. We're proud of you. You so no longer sweet. Have to pay to be on the show. We'll pay you now. You no longer
that's
have
going
to
help
pay
my
me.
budget so much.
Well,
yeah.
I told you once you get to a point, you no longer have to pay me, and then we'll start paying you.
I never expected to be this early.
Well,
thank you so much, Joe.
I didn't either. I really needed the money too. I spent a lot of money on a birthday party, Dave and Buster's yesterday for my kids. So
oh man,
could have used it. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. We will see you next week. All right.
Later, guys.
See ya. And we're gonna bring Jeff Bell in, but we're gonna make him be quiet. Wait, I gotta get Colton off here. Get out of here, Colton. Okay. Jeff, you're not allowed to talk. Because you always come in like a cannon, and I want to build the pressure up in the cannon. Adam, talk to us about Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, so For those of you that have been following this every week, my starts of the week have been horrid, terrible. So I'm going to talk about Rico Dottle, but you might want to take it with a grain of salt because if you've been tailing me, it's been bad. But, a lot of rush for the waiver wire this week for running backs. People going out for Woody Mark, people going out for the Cardinals running backs. Rico Dottle might have been the forgotten man. Honestly, depending on how active your league is, still could be out there on waivers. Chuba Hubbard's not going to play this week. Rico Dottle is going to be the guy if you're a running back needing team. But as always, you might be like Joey Wright, and you're like, come on, I don't care about that. Give me the stats. I want the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Rico Dottle, he's been pretty good for the Carolina Panthers. Looking at him and Chuba Hubbard's split with a running back touches in the red zone, it's been about a 50-50 split with Rico Dottle actually getting both the red goal line carries. Chuba Hubbard actually has not had a goal line carry with the Carolina Panthers. Miami ranks bottom 3 in rush defense in terms of yards allowed per running back per play to running backs. And they've been bottom 3 the last 3 weeks. So they're definitely trending down. This is a game that has a decent over-under. I expect Carolina to have the ball. Even if they're trailing, Rico Dottle has had a healthy target share for running backs hovering around 4 to 6% each week. I think he's somebody that gives you a PPR floor. So give me some Rico Dottle this week.
Let's go. Jeff, go.
Start of the week, Xavier Worthy this week. And it's all going to be about Travis Kelce because of the release of Life of a Showgirl. But Xavier Worthy is the skeleton key of this Chiefs offense. I think you can pull the advanced stats and they will tell you that the Jaguars defense has been pretty solid. But they've also allowed Jamar Chase's biggest game of the season. They've allowed Nico Collins' biggest game of the season. And Chase, the Chiefs moved Chase all through formation last week. He really only played about half the snaps because they blew the Ravens out. So don't get cute. Don't not think about not starting Xavier Worthy. Don't be scared about the injury. Xavier Worthy to go off in a Monday night primetime spot, the real skeleton key of this Chiefs offense at DraftKings. Over under is 5.5 receptions, 60.5 receiving yards, 5.5 rush yards, and then an anytime touchdown is plus 155. So I would go out there and make sure that Xavier Worthy is in my starting lineups. If you're going to play Showdown, Xavier Worthy would be in my lineup for Monday Night Football as well. And it is, Joey, it's Life of a Showgirl week. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention the opportunity. Mason Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, and Travis Kelce. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it. And Jeff, don't think I missed the key to unlock this offense. I understood what you were saying there. Just
He's a Redwood
when Woody
for it.
Marks is also start of the week. Look at us go. All right. Guys, let's hop right back into the questions. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good, Joey. Do you want to know what the revenge matchups are this week?
Let's go, Jeff. Come on.
We obviously have the Stephon Diggs matchup going up against Buffalo. We also have a lot of emotion with DeAndre Hopkins going up against Baltimore. DeAndre Hopkins needs 11 receptions to get to 1,000. He is not going to get to 11 receptions today because they don't throw him the ball 11 times, but that is tracking towards that. Mac Hollins going up against Buffalo. Mac Hollins, you'll always have my heart, and we wish you the very, very best. We had 2 revenge matchups on Thursday Night Football. Demarcus Robinson did a little bit against the Los Angeles Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do anything against the San Francisco 49ers, but he probably helped prep them for Mac Jones. But again, maybe he didn't prep them well enough as they lost.
Awesome. Adam, I have an update for you on Quinshon Judkins. He just went over 100 total yards. He's not scored a touchdown yet, though.
That's not what we wanted, Joey.
I know. Well, they're in the red zone, so it might happen on stream. Jeff, Adam's going to lose his mind if Judkins scores a touchdown. Awesome. Let's get right back into the questions. Jack is in here. And Jack, I'm sorry, I wanted to put your question up when Colton was on, but we had to get Jeff in here. Hey guys, thanks for helping me win last week by 1 point. But he lost neighbors. So some good and some bad there. Needs a defense for this week. New Orleans or the Giants? Jeff, which one are you going?
I'm going to go with the Giants defense going against New Orleans. I like that defensive line that the Giants have. They started to come on, and I think that the team has high belief in Jackson Dart.
Perfect. And yeah, we did say that Theo Johnson is definitely somebody we're kind of looking at adding, and not even just because of neighbors, but just, the opportunity is now there. So Mark, solid floor pick with Quinton Judkins. It's Quentin Johnston. Sorry, Joey. Chris Godwin, Jalen Waddle, or Zay Flowers. Where are you going, Adam? Pick one.
I mean, I've talked about him pretty much every week we've had the show. I'm just strictly off vibes, the way he's been playing, I have such a hard time taking Quentin Johnston out of my lineup right now. He's scoring touchdowns. He's getting explosive plays, 40-yard touchdown receptions. Obviously out of these guys, he's, someone that was drafted much later, added off a waiver wire, but I don't know. He's somebody I would just ride until it kind of fizzles out, if it does fizzle out at some point.
Adam, touchdown, Browns. David Njoku.
Oh my gosh.
Do we like Indiana Jones or Kyler today, Jeff?
I am going to go. I'm pretty certain I have Daniel Jones above Kyler in my rankings, but let me double check for sure.
They're very close this week on our staff rankings.
Daniel Jones.
All right. And then between Rachaad White, Woody Marks, Keenan Allen, and Jalen Waddle, is it Keenan Allen, Adam, or is it Woody?
I think kind of similar to Johnson. I think I'm going to leave Keenan Allen there. I think Ladd McConkey at some point has to have a big week. It hasn't happened thus far. Those two guys have kind of blocked him out a little bit, boxed him out. So again, I like riding the hot hand approach with fantasy. Sometimes don't overthink it. The guy's playing well, scoring points, just leave him in your lineup. So I'm going to go with Keenan.
All right. This is a little bit of a strategy question as well. Should we ever take a 0 at a position? Like, is there ever an excuse to do that?
Is that Sean Tucker or Trey
Tucker, I think.
I mean, I would feel okay dropping Trey Tucker for Mason Taylor. I would. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only time that I would take a 0 is if I have a Monday night player and maybe a defense or something like that, and I have won the matchup and it could actually lose me the matchup by playing the player. That's the only time I'm actively going to take a 0.
All right, Jeff. Andrew Goodman's got a question for you, and he's saying happy Sunday to us. Happy Sunday to you. Godwin or Devonta Smith?
Boy, the Eagles receivers, this is the ultimate squeaky wheel game, I think, for the Eagles receivers, one would think. But going up against Denver, I'm still probably going to go with Godwin, even if he's not in that slot where we'd like to see him. He did have 10 targets last week.
All right, and I'm going to take this one. Andrew, I understand wanting to play Darren Waller. He looked good last week, and he looks like he's going to kind of fill that Jonnu Smith role there with the Dolphins. However, I don't think anybody is walking higher this week than Travis Kelce after that album. And I know this is narrative analysis, but if you ever need an ego boost, just listen to Taylor Swift's new album if you're Travis Kelce, because holy cow, his head, I don't think it's going to make it into Arrowhead. Are they playing at Arrowhead? Whatever stadium they're playing in, I don't know if he's going to make it into the place.
Joey, I saw the most amazing tweet. It said, if Taylor wrote these lyrics, I'm pretty concerned. If ChatGPT wrote these lyrics, I'm even more concerned. If Travis wrote these lyrics, I'm actually pretty proud.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would actually start Kelce. And I'm desperate. 1-3, Lamar and Pierce all injured and devoid of upside. Yeah, I think Travis is going to have a good game. River 74, with Brock out, would you start Darnold or Geno Smith, Adam?
I'm starting Brock Bowers. If anyone has watched Geno Smith, it has been a pretty rough start to the season. I know we had kind of high hopes in that Raiders offense, but Sam Darnold, a much safer option.
Yeah, we the Judkins 56-yard TD called back due to penalty brought tears in my eyes. Adam, what happened to you when that happened? What did you do?
I handled it like an adult, and I walked out of the room.
What are the stakes here on this Judkins?
We had a Farrell fan in first touchdown, Judkins anytime touchdown parlay to win a G. So
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Jeff's in here and he's got a beautiful little dog there. Morning, half PPR. I'm leaning Rico over Rashad over Kamara. Am I crazy? Well, we've said earlier. Well, actually, Jeff, I want to ask you: do you prefer Rachaad White or Rico Dowdle today?
I prefer Rachaad White over Rico Dowdle today.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to break the tie. I think Sean Tucker is going to get work today. I've watched this Bucs offense. I know how it's going to work. If it doesn't work the way I think it's going to, I'll be surprised. But I do think Sean Tucker is going to get work. I think Rico Dowdle is going to be the whole show, and I like his matchup a lot more. Seattle's run to defense does scare me a little bit. I love Rashad White, though. He is my most drafted player, so it's a really tough decision for me. I'm probably
in PPR, though, don't have PPR especially. Don't you think White can just get there on receptions alone, given the way that they utilize the backs out of the backfield?
Here's the thing, Jeff. They haven't done that this year. And when they have, they've given it to Bucky. So my brain is kind of mixed around. I'm wondering if they revert back to what we saw last year, where it's Sean Tucker on first and second down and Rashad White mixes in on some second down, but every third down. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I think it's going to be heavy Rashad White. I think that the expectation is Bucky Irving is not going to miss a lot of time, I don't think. And I think in that situations, you just plug in Rashad White, you keep rolling with your offense. I think that if Bucky were going to miss a stretch of time, you would want to get Tucker up and acclimated. I think this is going to be a very tough game for your Buccaneers. I think the Seahawks have a very strong defense. And so I think you just kind of roll with the veteran in a 1-game sample. I think the other part of it too, the Panthers like scare the heck out of me. They're like, everybody's in on the Panthers because the Dolphins have been bad. Bryce Young has been horrible. And it's like early last season at Bryce Young of what we've seen out of the Panthers. And I think that 30-0 Falcons game is doing a lot of heavy lifting and scaring some people out, allowing some people some belief.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that.
I will say, and I mean, we can get to the questions here, but like I've been reading some stuff online here just about Bucky Irving as we're getting some updates. He's dealing with a shoulder injury too that the team has said, or they're reporting, could lengthen his timeline a little bit. The foot injury, I think, has been undersold a little bit. So we've been talking about like, would we start Rashad White or, some other options? I try to get Sean Tucker just on my bench. I don't think I'd play him this week unless they're a really deep spot, but somebody I just want to hold on to because I think there is potential Bucky misses time.
Yeah, Jeff and when I was breaking down earlier when we were discussing this, I said I just it's flipped in my mind of how this offense is run. And I remember the first week of the season being like, why is Rashad White running the Bucky plays and Bucky's running the Rashad White play? It just wasn't making sense. So I'm excited to see what happens today. But either of those guys over Kamara, we're forgetting a third player in this specific question. Jeff over Kamara?
Yeah, I play White over Kamara.
Okay.
I'm pretty fading on Kamara.
All right. In the same league, half PPR, I have to choose between Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, or McMillan, leading towards Chase and Worthy. Was Chase mentioned in this? BTJ, Worthy, McMillan. Worthy's definitely a play, and would you say McMillan's the other one, Jeff?
I'm going to play Chase over Worthy. Or not Worthy, Chase over McMillan. Yeah, I'm going to play Worthy and Chase if I'm picking two. I'll just go down with the ship here on Chase.
All right. That's actually a Dido song, the Down with the Ship. So that's not Taylor Swift. I don't know why you're doing that. Viking has a question for you, Adam. Malik Washington or Michael Carter?
I like the Malik Washington shout out. He could be in for an interesting spot. Some of the other thing that we were getting in terms of updates coming through Schefter or NFL Network, I can't remember, is that DeMarcado is expected to keep his same role, but the Cardinals have said that Michael Carter will get, quote, bulk of the work. So I think Michael Carter's a safer play in a half-point PPR league.
All right. Laura needs some help, Jeff. She needs a fill-in for Bowers. Strange, Waller, or Schultz?
Well, I'll lean on my co-captain, DFS co-captain, Devin Knotts, and I will say Schultz here. Co-host Devin Knotts on the DFS show. He'll really like Dalton Schultz this week.
Excellent. 6 points for passing touchdown. Would you play Herbert over Hurts? Adam, how are we feeling there?
Man, that is another tough one. Both have been really great this week. I think I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. He's been spinning it. I really like the Chargers passing attack, so I'm going to go with Herbert.
All right. Morning, guys. Am I overthinking Dart over Mayfield? Jeff, would you start Dart over Mayfield?
I don't have my ranks up. I'm sorry. I would go with, I've got Jackson Dart ranked over Baker Mayfield, and Jackson Dart's fantasy projection is like a little bit like Tim Tebow, but points count a lot more on the ground.
Is it true that he doesn't believe in the moon landing, or was that all funny internet things?
I believe everything I see on the internet.
Okay, yeah. Jackson Dart doesn't believe we land on the moon, or he doesn't believe that like the footage that we have is. He thinks we got there, but that wasn't when we got there. Which, Sean, Jakob, just saying Sean. All right, taking a 0-1 kicker this week, but projected to win 126-86. You can always check to see who the Sunday night and the Monday night kickers are, and you can always drop a bench player if it gets hairy, because strange things happen. I once had Robert Tunyon score like 35 points for me on Monday Night Football and beat my father-in-law, and he still talks about it to this day. Jacksonville KC plays. Yeah, they do. Oh yeah, so they're in Jacksonville. Why am I not there? Like, if Taylor is at the game, man, that's just like right up the road for me. All right, pick one. Adam, non-PPR, Washington, Hollywood Brown, Darius Slayton, or Wan'Dale Robinson. The first time we've had these two Giants wide receivers come up. I kind of want to talk about them for a second after you answer the question.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Wan'Dale Robinson a little bit because he had that big week. I think it was week 2. It's been a little bit disappointing since. Obviously, in a better line for targets with Malik Neighbors out. Slayton too. I think I'm going to lean Wan'Dale Robinson. Like the matchup against the Saints passing attack, they don't scare me too much. I know Slayton's been a thing here and there, but he seems like he's kind of a big play or all or nothing. So I think Wan'Dale's a little bit of a safer option.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would play Wan'Dale today. Jeff, about Slayton, though. When Malik Neighbors has missed time, Slayton's stepped up to the plate, hasn't he?
I don't really pay attention to Slayton. I mean, yeah, he's had decent. I just don't feel like I ever want to have Slayton in my lineup, to be honest. And I don't expect heavy volume out of the Giants passing game.
Okay. Going to lean on Scatteroo.
Which means he will catch a touchdown and yes, do all those things.
All right. Thoughts on DJ Moore rest of season? Jeff, what do you think about DJ Moore rest of season?
Another player I try not to think about rest of season. No, I think it's. I mean, Dave and I have talked about it on the Dynasty show. That do you think that the Bears heading into the bye feel like they're doing something wrong on offense and they need to dramatically change the way that they've been running their offense?
The last 2 weeks, no.
Right. So that's where I kind of feel like it's still going to just feed Rome Odunze, and then we've got the other pieces around here.
Yeah, I expected Rome Odunze to kind of emerge from this wide receiver group as the wide receiver 1 by the end of the season. I didn't expect it by week 3. Like that, I'm surprised that it happened this quick. But I will say, Toby, you traded Michael Carter for DJ Moore, and that's a win. Like, Michael Carter might be relevant. He might even be relevant this week. We don't know. I mean, that Arizona backfield, we've heard every one of those 3 guys is going to be the one to start today. So you traded him away for still a pretty much borderline wide receiver 2, definitely high-end wide receiver 3.
Hey, Adam, do you know, like, timeline-wise for Trey Benson, what the expectation would be?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. So he had a cleanup procedure, pretty standard. I think rest of season production is decent when those players come back. The fact that they put him on IR, I think there was potential for him to maybe come back sooner than 4 weeks, but they're kind of slow playing it. Cardinals have a bye in week 8, meaning Benson would have to sit out week 9. When he's first eligible in week 10, I think he will be active. So it's going to be a little bit. I mean, that's 5 weeks away, but if he's somebody that you can hold on to, I don't think it's a bad option.
All right. Adam, I just want to let you know the Browns have the ball on the 10-yard line.
Their own
10-yard
line.
But
okay,
but
there we go.
I
knew with your smirk, I knew it had to be.
We're having fun. All right. Chase Brown or Rico
One of us is.
Dowdle, Joe. I'm always having. You're not having fun, Adam? I'm having fun every week I come on the show.
All right, fair.
Before the show,
I guess,
Adam's like, Joey, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, at least one of us has Emeka Egbuka, so I guess everyone can be having fun on this show.
I have him on some teams, not many. If it was before the NFL draft, I have him on teams. Once he went to the Buccaneers, it didn't happen. It was like, nope, Joey, you can't have him. Sorry, you can watch him play this year and enjoy all of the spoils for your team, but not for your fantasy teams. Yeah, Adam was saying earlier that I should have a start of the week every week, but I was like, well, I don't have a graphic because I was going to focus on hosting the show. But if I had a start of the week this week, it'd be Nico Collins. He's my wide receiver 1. I think he's absolutely going to show up this week against the Ravens. So if you've got Nico Collins, you were already starting him, but start him with confidence, and maybe sprinkle some dollarinas on him as well. Juwan is active. Okay, so Jeff, we haven't really talked about Taysom Hill yet because why would we? But we're going to. What does this do for those Taysom Hill bros that are out there excited he's coming back? Are we just plugging Juwan Johnson in there and just forgetting about Taysom today?
No, I'm not forgetting about Taysom. I don't know. I don't really know how the two affect each other, to be honest, other than having tight end next to their names. From what I'm looking for from Taysom Hill, it doesn't have anything to do with Juwan Johnson. I think I'm looking for really Taysom Hill to push a touchdown into the end zone with Kellen Moore as the head coach now, and he's got the 5th best odds in the game for an anytime touchdown scorer. That's what you're really looking for with Taysom Hill. Maybe catch 2 passes, maybe throw 1, maybe run for 20, 30 yards. That's what you're hoping you get out of if you're going to do Taysom Hill. And to me, Juwan Johnson doesn't affect that.
All right. Well, while we're on this, Miles Sanders has been officially ruled out like projected. So Jaden Blue's somebody that might be interesting to add as well, but Miles Sanders is not going to play today.
Does Jaden Blue have comfy shoes for this game? I just want to make sure.
They might be Gucci, not Louis Vuitton. So I can't speak to the comfort.
With Bowers out, he picked up Mason Taylor, but it looks like Taysom Hill is back. Would you take that shot at some gadget upside, or would you start Mason Taylor, Jeff?
I'm starting Mason Taylor here. I just love this Dallas matchup. And the Jets said they wanted to get the ball to Mason Taylor, and they did that on Monday night. And it's just start your Jets. Start Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, and Justin Fields.
And Andrea, thank you for being in here. We appreciate you as always. Vendalorian needs, I feel like I just said a curse word, but I didn't. Need 2 flexes. He's got Chase Brown and Travion Henderson, but he can't get either Arizona running back. Oh, he can get either Arizona running back. Tolbert, Keon Coleman, or Luke McCaffrey off the free agent pile. Thoughts? So would you play Chase Brown, Adam, and Travion Henderson in your 2 flex spots? Would you go out and get yourself an Arizona running back or Tolbert or Coleman?
I mean, it kind of depends on what you can drop or what you need. I think Keon Coleman is interesting if you're swinging for the fences, and maybe Jeff can back me up there or go against me. But Keon Coleman's, it's been a little bit up and down, but in that offense, we know they're going to move the ball. We know they're going to score touchdowns. So if I needed a ceiling play, I maybe try to sneak Keon Coleman in a lineup.
All right. Adam, can we go over the injuries one more time for everybody?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, so we've got Miles Sanders officially out, Juwan Jennings officially active, Brock Bowers officially was ruled out as he was trending towards. We talked a little bit about some of these running back options in terms of guys that expected to miss time. So we know Trey Benson is going to be on IR and have to miss at least 4 weeks. So those Arizona running backs give you some options. A guy we did not talk a lot about, but I think is maybe a sneaky bench stash is Isaiah Davis. That Braylon Allen injury is serious. Yeah. I mean, he's going to need surgery. They already placed him on IR, but I think there's potential that he misses the majority of the season, if not the rest of the season, depending on how his recovery comes. So Isaiah Davis is somebody that could be involved and maybe is one injury away from being the starting running back. So he's somebody I would try to stash. Chuba Hubbard calf injury that could linger a little bit. It sounds like he was playing through that. So I don't like Rico Dotto's long-term outlook, but he is somebody that obviously was my start of the week this week, somebody that I would try to play. I haven't seen anything official on Tyrone Tracy, but he was trending towards inactive. I think it's going to be another couple weeks for Tyrone Tracy. The other one I've been looking for, because Brock Bowers is out, I have not seen anything on Michael Mayer in terms of clearing concussion protocol. So I can kind of filibuster here and see if there's anything.
Last I saw, he was going to be out.
He was going to be out.
Wasn't even considered he was going to be playing today.
Yeah, I mean,
he hasn't out for Bowers. What'd you say, Jeff?
Ian Thomas, here we come.
Yeah.
Oh, fumble recovery.
Michael Mayer is officially out. So you're right there. So yeah, Raiders are going to be without both of their tight ends. Raiders elevated Albert Akuibunam. I don't know if that interests anyone. Doesn't
It
really
does
interest
me.
me.
I'm the
But
fifth string
Oka
Raiders tight
Ware.
end.
yeah, that's what we got
Oh.
on the injury. Yeah.
All
Debo
right.
Samuel, is there any concern about Debo Samuel? I just want selfish curiosity.
Yeah. Debo Samuel he came off the injury report. When Debo Samuel is on the injury report or questionable going into a game, his production significantly decreases. Last time I looked, on average, he sees about a 20% decline in fantasy production. The fact that he is off the injury report makes me a little less worried about him. Obviously, with Terry McLaurin out too, I think, and Jaden Daniels returning, I'm okay playing Debo Samuel this week.
All right. I want to get to Tony's question real quick. It's David Montgomery over Zay Flowers for me. I love that matchup for the Lions today. I think David Montgomery is definitely going to get some work. And Jeff, stick with Mason Taylor over Juwan Johnson. And then who else on the injury reports here? Yes, Juwan Johnson is active today. Calvin Ridley, is he end up being active?
I haven't seen anything official. He was trending towards playing though, so I think he is going to play. Unclear if those injuries are
not active for you.
Yeah, unclear
Yeah.
if those injuries are like really hampering his production at this point. Not somebody that like Jeff was saying that should really be fantasy relevant because he's been very bad.
I started DeMarcus Robinson over Calvin Ridley without
Look at you.
hesitation this week, and I still think I made the right choice, even though he only put up like 6 points for me. I just cannot trust Calvin Ridley. Go ahead, Jeff.
Have you guys talked about the Chiefs' backfield, where you think that's going to land?
Ooh, no, let's talk about that. We've got 3 minutes.
Yeah, because I saw the comment from Dan Graziano that's making everybody go all in on Rashad Smith. And Graziano's comment was kind of just a throwaway of like, expect over the course of the season into the second half of the year for Rashad Smith to have a bigger role. And it's being taken as if like he's the starter now. And I'm seeing where consensus ranks are landing on Kareem Hunt, on Isaiah Pacheco, and on Rashad Smith. And I'm still higher in consensus on Kareem Hunt and Pacheco.
Yeah, I said last week on the show that I needed to see it from Pacheco or he was going to be a drop candidate for me. And I saw enough last week to where I'm like, okay, don't drop him. I wouldn't want to start him if I didn't have to. But yeah, I'm not just thinking it's going to Rashad Smith, Jeff. I agree with you.
To me, I feel like Pacheco he's clearly the most explosive back. He looks explosive. It's just that they're not giving him enough time to get into any rhythm, I feel like is the problem really for Pacheco. And then you've got Kareem Hunt grabbing the short yardage. And really with these backs, what we're talking about is falling into the end zone once. And that seems like Hunt right now.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Jeff saying we're the best. Well, you didn't have to tell us that. We were well aware, but we thank you anyways. Well, we've reached the end of the show. Adam, do you have any final words for our beautiful viewers today?
Nope. Let's get those W's. If you guys are not subscribed to Football Guys, make sure you do, and you will find out my injury round out that comes out at noon tomorrow. That's Monday. Check it out. Good luck to everybody.
All right. Before I throw it to Jeff to send us out, Mike Cash is going to be in the Football Guys Discord from noon until kickoff. So get those questions in there. Kashuba will get them answered for you in Sunday morning AMA. So go to that channel over in the Discord, and Mike will get those answered for you. Jeff, without further ado, give us some final words and then send us off.
First, I just want to express my gratitude and thanks to the both of you and just to be part of the Football Guys family. I appreciate just the opportunity to be able to hang out with you guys. Mm-hmm. And you just out there, if you're struggling, if you're 1-3, you're wondering what's going on, just win 1 week. Win 1 week. All you need to do right now is win this week. And then let's worry about the next week. The next week, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Have a great week 5, everybody.